Hell yeah. I'm on with it.
Alright, what's up guys? Welcome to Sayibu'S Bench, which is going to be a conversational podcast with very interesting people from Ghana. And today with me is none other than Vincent Macaulay. Is it Macaulay?
Macaulay.
Macaulay.
Yeah.
See? We just learned something new today because I've been pronouncing that name wrong the whole time. So Vincent Macaulay.
Vincent E Macaulay.
Vincent E Macaulay.
Yeah.
See? We're learning this. Who we all know as Max from Things We Do for Love, but also has done a whole lot of other very, very interesting stuff that we're going to get to talk about today. So, how's it going, man?
My brother, it's been... I just thank God for His grace and, for His many blessings, and it's been good. It's been good, yeah.
I'm happy you're happy.
But it's really, for every time I sit down with you, it's surreal with me.
Really?
It's so surreal for me.
Oh, come on. No way.
No, it's true. Like, every time we sit down, it feels so surreal because, like, I always remember, I used to, like, of course, like, feel like, one day I want to, like, get to meet these people, right? And then, since we, like, even after we've worked together and all that, I still can't get over the fact that, like,
come on, Majid, come on. Oh, Gina, come on.
I still can't get over the fact that you are, like...
I can't believe he's saying this. I cannot believe he's saying this.
It's true. But I think that is a testament to how great the work that you guys did back then was.
It's funny you mentioned that because even when we started with Things We Do for Love, and for many of us, it was our first venture into real television work.
Oh wow!
Yeah, and but for me, I had done TV prior to that, but I was not acting. I was presenting variety shows on television.
Oh.
Yeah.
Wow.
I
didn't know that.
Oh yeah, I did. I started in June of 1999. I hosted a variety show because that was just a couple of years after TV3 started.
Oh.
And they had a variety show which had games and music and fun. It was called Gold Blast.
Oh, nice.
Yes. Which morphed into what we see now as music.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes. I know music.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. The original form was Gold Blast, which had music, we had games, we had fun, we had interviews. It was a whole package. Yeah.
Nice.
And I became the second presenter of that show.
Oh wow.
Yes. I was hosting it with Black Coffee.
Oh, okay, I know Black Coffee.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, we're hosting it together.
I know of her.
Exactly. Yeah, we're hosting it together with her. And then she went off to do Talking Drum, which was also on TV3.
Okay. I remember that one.
Exactly, yes. And then I hosted Go Bless for the remainder of the time I was there.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
So that means that by when you guys started Things We Do for Love, we could say you were the big dog on campus. Doing other things.
Yeah, well, I was one of, because I think JT had also done television work prior to that.
Okay.
Yeah. So I was one of,
Right.
not mentioning the other veterans who were with us, like, Nat Banini
right.
all of the others, who also Kofi Middleton.
He played also there, right? Was it not Banini?
Yeah. Cambodia, yes.
Cambodia,
Yes, Cambodia. That's
actually funny enough. I'm writing a zombie movie, and one of the characters is named that because of that character. It's a Ghanaian zombie
movie.
Yeah, and one of them is Cambodia.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
We're gonna get back to your love of zombies for a minute.
Yeah.
Yes. So prior to that, and it was really, really for me, Things We Do for Love was magical for me.
Wow.
Because not only was I doing what I had always wanted to do, which was act, but I was part of, initially I didn't know it at the time, but I was part of something that was about to become a phenomenon.
Right.
And neither of us had any idea.
Yeah, it became a sensation, man.
We had no idea the magnitude, of this show that we were doing.
To this day, like,
people
keep asking about it. Like,
exactly. And it puzzles me. I'm like, haven't you guys forgotten about this? And people people say like, oh, Max, I'm like, haven't you guys forgotten? But it just goes to show you, you know, and I remember when we started the first season, and then Ivan said, "Oh, you guys, this thing is going to be big. I can just envisage it." But we're like, "Oh, yeah. It'll be on TV. People will watch. Yeah." But it just took off, and I think it was getting to the end of the first season.
Okay.
That was when because it was a radio show at first. Yeah, it was a radio serial.
Right.
Yeah. I think I can't remember which station was. I don't want to mention the wrong station and get in trouble, so I'm not going to say anything.
So don't say it.
Exactly. I won't say anything. Exactly. Yeah.
It's a certain radio station.
Yeah, it's a certain radio station. Yeah. And we did that, and so the younger people got to know about that. So the next thing was, okay, when are you going to adapt this to TV? Yeah. So that was the thing.
Oh, wow. I did not know about the radio.
Yeah. We started on radio first before we went to television.
See,
yes,
learning some stuff.
And some of the radio casts migrated to television.
Okay.
I was also part of the radio.
Okay.
Cast,
okay.
yeah.
And were you playing the same character?
Yeah. Yes, I was. But when I looked at some of the storylines on the radio, I was hoping that they would have brought it to television, because there was an aspect whereby Max and Bibi now became friends.
Oh wow!
Yes.
Wow.
Yes. Max and Bibi now became friends,
Oh,
and then that was a time when I think it was supposed to be that Bibi would later break Marsha's heart or something.
Oh wow!
Yeah, something like that. There was going to be that kind of
such a cool character.
Yeah, he was.
Today they'll say he had nice guy syndrome.
Yeah, you can say that. Yes, you can say that. But the whole thing, the whole atmosphere. I mean, Ivan Pashika, who's a maestro.
Yeah,
you know.
I've met him a few times recently.
Exactly, and everybody who was part of the crew was just excellent. The crew was fantastic.
Oh, wow.
You know, we had Kwabena Abwaje, God rest his soul. I heard he just passed away. Oh, wow. Who was our cameraman? He was just beyond brilliant. He was a guy's guy. You know, wow. He was just you know, he was just wonderful. And then we had Vali T, who was our lightning guy, and Victor, who was our I think production coordinator. Victor had the eye for casting.
Yeah, you guys were perfect.
Yeah, he just got the right people for the right parts, and he was brilliant with that. So when we all got together and we all just blended together, it was just a delicious mix of a great stew. That's just what it was, and I think that is what made the show so successful. Because when you look at it, Majid, I could not have played Shaker's parts.
Right. It was so
and he could not, and Ajeti could not have played Killer, and Killer could not. It would not have. No. We would not have. So the way it just came together was amazing, and there were some fun bits I had on that show. Really fun.
Max was one of my favorite characters.
Really?
Yeah.
He was also one of the most hated. Really.
Yes. A lot of people hated Max because he's always complained about something, and the way him and Denise's relationship. Was very. Everybody loved Fisher because he's the cool guy.
Exactly. Yeah. Everybody wanted to have as a friend. Everybody wanted to be like.
Everything hated Max. You know, just by way of that. But I think he was a very interesting character because I remember one of my favorite cliffhangers that I don't think ever got resolved was, you know. I remember someone, what was the name of the guy? I don't know if it was Killer or Aluta. One of them was like, all I want to know is what happened to the relationship. And I don't know which relationship you're talking about. And it was in every commercial, but that scene never played.
Really?
Yes. And I never saw it. You know, to this day, I'm so frustrated.
Okay.
This is after
the relationship. Oh gosh.
Yeah, this is after Marcia had gone and come back or something, something like that.
Something like that. Okay.
And it was always being like foreshadowed, like in the clips. Coming soon on Things Will Fall Out. Exactly. You know, next time when Things Will Fall Out.
Yeah.
But that next time never came. And you guys used to leave us hanging with some stories.
Sorry about that.
And we loved it so much. So
sorry about that. Sorry, folks. Sorry about that. Sorry that you never really got to know what relationship it was.
I didn't know it.
But I think I don't know. But I think it probably was maybe the relationship. It could have been maybe between Pusha and Julia, who was played by Erica.
Okay.
Erica, wherever you are, if you're watching this, I miss you, girl. Please get in touch. I miss you, Erica. Please get in touch. Ricky, I always call her Ricky. Ricky, get in touch. I miss you.
Nice. I miss you too.
Yes, and I think it was either because Pusha and Erica, Julia had this like on and off thing going.
Because
so,
of his dating.
Exactly. So I don't know whether it was that relationship they were referring to, or he and Diddy that they were referring to. Because one thing I noticed about Pusha, he always led the guys to the water, but he never drank.
Oh yeah. He was like the instigator.
Exactly.
You know, like he puts BB to like try and sleep with Marcia. You know, like he'll always be poking BB.
But
Pusha is like on top. But he did get someone pregnant. Or they thought he did. I think there was an episode where
he
got someone pregnant.
They thought he did, but the thing is that he always made sure he protected himself.
Yes. So it was never the case.
No. Yeah, that was out. And another thing too is I don't know if people paid attention to it, but how all of the ethnic groups were represented.
Yes.
And it was done in a fun and admirable way.
Yeah.
You know, you had the Blagojis who were the other side, and then Bibi's family, you know, the Ga side, you had all of that. And Mr. Blagoji, who was Enina Menaluta's father, he was just like
on fire.
Oh boy. He was wonderful.
Enina was the one Jackie played.
Yes, exactly.
Wow,
yes.
That was. I remember when that character popped up.
Yes.
Exciting, like everybody was like, yo. And in the show, it was an exciting time as well.
Yeah, it really was. It really was. And it's like when we all got back together to shoot, it was like, you know, when you're in school and then you go for holidays and you come back. Right. Yeah.
So you guys have update each other.
Yes. It was that kind of thing, really.
That's very, very cool, man. But so I've always wondered, why did you guys let go of such a phenomenon? Like, it was so good, and you guys stopped while the getting was good. It was like Seinfeld. You stopped at the height, you know, of it.
Oh, but it's something that everybody wants to know. How do I even say this? I think probably the best person to answer that would probably be Ivan Kwashiga, you know, to really know what happened. Because initially we were supposed to continue, but I think there was some for me not to say what I'm not sure about, I think there were some issues behind the scenes that were not resolved.
Right.
So because of that, it kind of like killed the show. Yes. So and we have been attempting to come back a number of times, and it just never really got through.
Okay.
Until finally Yolo came about, and then we were able to.
Nice. I checked out Yolo, and you know, obviously I'm not the same age as I used to be, so I don't think it's targeted to me anymore. But I was always excited whenever I would see you guys.
Oh yeah. And that's the thing. A lot of people, you know, it brought a lot of nostalgia.
Yeah.
You know, everybody was happy when they saw us again. You know, when they saw Aluta, Pusha, and then I'm dating myself. You know,
right.
And that's what. And they'll always say, "Oh, I want to see more of you. I want to see more of you."
And honestly, one of my, I think I've told you. I've had a continuation of that show in my mind for like over a decade. And I've been doing it every day, you know. And I hope to get to do that one day.
Well, who knows? Who knows? Yeah.
Please, but because I feel like those like this that's happening a lot in the States right now. When we take a show that went off, like X-Files came back.
Yes.
Years, you know, because there's value in revisiting
precisely, you know,
that we love already.
Exactly,
you know, and to see
we've seen that with Roseanne. You know,
Roseanne came back.
Exactly.
You know,
Mercy Brown came back. You know,
even Arsenio Hall show came back for a minute.
Exactly.
You know, so yeah, it's like I think there's a mini series there that's left.
I definitely believe you. I definitely
a powerful miniseries there that sort of
that gap, the missing years, right? Exactly what happened in that,
you know, and then sort of bring you guys. I feel like there's a good send off that needs to happen for the characters because
I believe you.
We're blessed that you guys are alive. So please do it for us, man.
He's that guy. Put it down to paper and we'll bring it down to you.
I think those characters they're Ghanaian. They're gonna be Ghanaian icons as we go.
Exactly.
Because they're part of Ghanaian pop culture. So yeah.
You've got that right. And I think, because I often ask myself, back then we didn't have Instagram and WhatsApp and all of the social media.
Right.
And I'm thinking to myself, I wonder what it would have been like if we had social media back then. I can imagine.
I can't imagine what Jeet's DMs would have looked like.
Oh my goodness!
I cannot imagine because it would have been wild.
It really
oh
would
my
have
god!
been.
Like if you guys were still, let's say if that had started now, oh my god! Like, I don't know where that goes because it's so good. Like it's such the storylines and everything.
That right. And I think another reason why it was such a success was it was something that practically everybody could relate to. It cut across everywhere.
Yeah.
Whatever level of class you were in the society, you could watch it and enjoy it. I had Italians and Indians coming up to me telling me that they enjoyed things we do for love, and I'm like,
you see?
You do?
People,
and it was just like, and also you could, the parents would watch it because it reminded them of their younger days, and the younger people also watch it because it's something that they could relate to. So, like I said, it was a whole delicious mix of a great stew.
It was the perfect family show.
True,
for everybody.
Yeah.
Like, we learned a lot. I remember, like, we growing up, you guys used to talk a lot about, HIV.
Yes.
So despite the fact that it was fun, we were learning.
Exactly.
We're learning a lot. And I feel like Yolo does that as well. But at the same time, I just think that the recipe was with that chemistry.
Yes.
That ensemble had.
That
chemistry, it's lightning in the bottle.
No doubt about it. Yeah. The only thing, like, I can't remember who it was. Somebody asked me, I think it was Senna who played my sis, and she was, so many times people would, is she a real sister? I'm like, no, I'm just acting.
But that's actually, this gets me into something I've wanted to get to. There were a lot of rumors about you guys, like you and her were real sisters, like siblings, And you and Dede were really dating.
Oh boy,
But in the movie, of course, it's not, but like, you guys are still dating. So which of all the crazy rumors were true? And which of them were like so far-fetched? Which was the craziest one you heard?
Oh my goodness, I can't even remember. There was so much stuff floating all over the place. I remember one time they actually said that was just when we were about to. I can't remember who it was. It said Jackie was dating one of the singers. I can't remember who it was, and I'm thinking, oh come on, I mean, don't be ridiculous,
Right.
And then but for Senna, I think the chemistry between us was so.
It was so on point.
It was so and the way
we believed that you guys were siblings.
Yeah, the way we related to each other, she got on my nerves and I got on hers, and it was just.
And another thing was, like, you two had a very distinct. You had a very distinct accent that you both had.
Okay, all right, okay.
So everybody assumed, it's a so they just put them in there to play it themselves, and you did it so well that it really looked like that.
I would say so. But I would have wished that the show would have continued, and when it had, I would have wanted the more evolution of the characters.
Right.
Like with Max and Pusher and everybody, and I would have wanted a growth, like him getting to know them more.
Right.
They're also getting to know him more, and seeing that even though he used to look down on them, that there's something I can learn from these guys.
Right.
And they're also looking at him thinking that, oh, he's so up there and up there. There's something we can also learn from him.
Right.
And then, that would have also
I think
been part of that kind of.
I think there was a lot to mine with the rivalry between the two. Because I feel like it can end up being resolved in friendship.
Exactly.
It's one of those.
Exactly.
This is like the way BB.
Yes,
you know,
true,
you kinda
true.
just hate
Exactly.
BB because he's poor and trying to date his sister.
And everybody used to get
being poor.
everybody used to get this on me on that. They're like, you don't want people to come off your sister back. And I'm like, guys, it's normal. We don't like to give our sisters out. It happens with everybody. It's normal. Especially when you are of a certain class, like of a certain class. You don't want that, bro. You don't want that.
Right. So it was so funny because it's like, wow, like his whole crime is being poor, and Max is just like, nah, we don't play that. we don't do poor people.
That's all. But it was all good. It was all good.
But it was honestly, I think it was also a very it was ahead of its time in a way. Those types of stories, because even though we're watching it, a lot of the stuff I picked up on, like the important stuff, it's when I was an adult and rewatching something.
Yes.
You get, I'm like, oh wow, dude, wow, okay, this is what they were doing. They were touching on all these classism.
True.
You know, which but in such a beautifully subtle way.
Yes.
It wasn't overbearing.
No.
That was, to me, that's the opus for Ivan. Like,
I would say so. And I gotta give kudos also to the writer, Eddie Settle.
Okay,
Thank you for giving us such
yeah.
a wonderful story. Thank you for writing this.
Is he not a director now?
Yeah, he is. Yeah.
I've heard of him.
Yes, he's doing some stuff now, but he's still up there. And so that's who's now writing Yolo. I mean, great stuff. I mean,
Fantastic.
great
But it's a great creative team though, because they've been able to one thing that I've seen they've been able to replicate with Yolo is the environment, the mood. You feel like you're back in that universe again.
Precisely, and it's been really good. But and everybody has been asking me, and I know this is going to come with that. Since many people think that since Things to Do for Love, I haven't done anything, which is not true. I have been working.
We've done so much other stuff. We've worked together.
Exactly. Yes, I have done a lot of stuff. Since Things We Do.
Yeah, and I think mine. Before we worked together on Slumber Party, I don't remember what movie it was, but because I think I told you when we met that's the reason, because remember I wanted you to play the bad guy.
Yeah.
Because I saw a small bit of aggression in one of your roles on TV.
Okay.
And I was like, oh, okay, it's there. He just has to, if he wants to tap into it, he'll be able to. And I also wanted to do something wildly different from what you normally do, which is why, but I've also seen, I've not watched it, but I've seen that you did My Very Ghanaian Wedding, which was huge, because it was you couldn't, when it was about to release, it was just all over the place, and a lot of people, and the marketing was so effective and everything. It was it created a crazy buzz. Yeah. So it's still surprising to me that people think
exactly.
Because there's a lot of other buzzy things.
True.
Over the years.
Yes.
But my question is, what has kept you here? Because a lot of us see sort of you're a very huge. Talent-wise, is there, and I know you have access to leave the country whenever you want and stuff like that. So what has kept you, practicing here instead of trying to go out there and sort of?
That's a very, very good and interesting question, and a loaded question too. The thing is, I've come to when I was. But I've come to understand this now, that even though you're all in the same school, you have different destinies.
Right.
And when my colleagues also started, Jackie, Majid, and all the others, when they all started, and they started branching out and doing Nigerian collaborations and all that, and I think maybe that was their time for that to happen.
Right.
And I think it was right for that.
Right.
And for me, it hasn't come to that level yet.
Right.
That's what I believe now.
Right.
Yeah. Because at times when you're trying to go through something and it's not happening, it means that it's probably not your time.
Right.
And I think a lot of people don't seem to get that.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
Coming back to this question, let me give you an example. Some of you may not know this, but it's an example you might know. In the US, there was a period whereby you had, especially with the sitcoms, and many of them were branching into movies and becoming big in the 80s.
Right.
Like you had Michael J. Fox, you had Kirk Cameron, you had all of these young older teens or young adults, exactly. All of them, exactly. All of them branching out and doing stuff. And then, and then Jason Bateman was not really doing much of anything.
No. He only recently...
Exactly, you know. Even though he was like, he's part of that. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. Which was, sorry, but a complete disaster. And he did some TV movies here and there.
Yeah.
And he did a sitcom which lasted only half a season, you know. And he was also in Valerie, which did very well.
Yeah.
But that era, when that era ended, we didn't see him.
No, he was gone.
Completely. Then all of a sudden, we just see him coming up
differently.
Exactly.
He rebranded himself.
Precisely. Yeah. And he's appearing in so many movies, doing so many things, when those people he started with have more or less like,
And now they've all sort of come back. Michael J. Fox is no longer. He's hotter than Michael J. Fox.
That's the thing. So I believe that.
And now is the time to be hotter than Michael J. Fox.
Yes, and so I believe that everybody has their own time. I was going to branch into the Nigerian market, and the gentleman who was going to help me to do that was Ifeanyi Onaibo.
Okay.
God rest his soul as well. We're just getting ready to do that when unfortunately he passed.
Oh.
Yeah. So I'm still looking, but like I said, everything in its own time.
It's gonna fall into place.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yes.
And you know, I'm very I was very sad that what I originally envisioned didn't come true for Slumber Party, but I hope that we get to go down that road one day in another project.
I'm sure we definitely will.
I feel like you still have a lot to give us.
Yes, I'm sure we definitely will. It's not a matter of I believe strongly in this, that when it comes to the big director up there,
right?
Exactly. It's all a matter of time, and when the right connections begin to happen and then things just begin to just fall into place and then boom, it presents itself, you'll know. Yeah. So I definitely believe that we're going to work again. It's all just a matter of time.
Yes. Another thing I've discussed with you that I found very interesting was Black Panther.
Oh,
I enjoyed Black Panther very much.
I loved it.
I loved it. I have my qualms, but for the most part, like I think it was a great thing. What do you think about the fact that they're not gonna be recasting Chadwick? What's your thoughts on that?
In my opinion, I personally think that they should recast the part.
Right.
Because when you look at all the Christopher Reeve died. They've recast Superman twice since then.
Yeah, but it took a while.
Yeah, definitely. But you can't have a superhero film without a superhero,
True.
in my opinion. It just wouldn't work. And many people I've talked to have suggested people for the part. And I was thinking that maybe Michael Jai White could do it.
He could.
Yeah.
He's a bit older than.
Yeah, but he looks younger than most people have his age. Let's give him credit for that. True. Yes. Or maybe, I don't even know if they might agree with this, but maybe Michael B. Jordan could play.
Right. He could. There are ways within the Marvel thing.
Yes.
What I actually hoped they would do was, not kill him, but within all this, because they just introduced this multiverse.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking it would be cool if maybe because of what happened, and I don't know if you watched Loki recently, But based on the ending of that, it sort of sets up things in such a way that we could come back to a few things slightly changed.
Exactly.
You get it? So it could be a new, what do they call it? A new actor, but it's the same guy.
Precisely, exactly, yes.
From a different universe, get stuck here, and ours get stuck over there.
Yes,
that's the story. You know, they got displaced.
Precisely.
So for now, we're going to be following this T'Challa because our T'Challa is now.
Yeah, exactly. I believe that there are many ways by which we can. We've really seen that with comic books over the years. You know.
It happens and stuff.
I believe that there are.
But I also think the reason they are taking their time is because of the tastefulness and the proximity to his passing. But I think that ultimately they will.
Yeah.
I think that ultimately they will. Like eventually, T'Challa will be back.
But you know what? I wouldn't want to be in the shoes of the writers because when you write a movie like this, the very first black superhero, and it's such an enormous success.
How do you follow it?
That's the thing. You know, you're like, okay.
But I trust Ryan Coogler. Ryan Coogler is such a phenomenal filmmaker. If you haven't checked out Fruitvale Station, check it out. He did it with Michael B. Jordan.
Yeah.
And then they came back and
I was going to see that actually, but it was a little bit depressing for me.
You know. And then they did Creed, which is what kind of put Coogler on the map, right?
Oh, I see. Oh, he directed Creed.
Man, the first one, I think, and the second one as well. He's not going to be directing the third one.
Aside the Rocky movies, which we know are terrific, and $1 Million Baby, which I think is excellent. I think the Creed movies are brilliant.
They are.
I think they are.
I was so inspired by the final act of that film. Creed,
Creed 2, you mean, or
the main one?
Yeah.
Creed, the first one.
Yeah, the first one, yeah.
I love the second one as well.
Yeah.
As the story that it is, because it's like Ivan Drago.
Yes.
That's really cool because the very first Rocky movie I ever saw was Rocky.
Really?
Yeah.
I see.
My
first one was Rocky 3.
Yeah, yes, of course. So I didn't even know there was stuff before because normally the way it plays, they fill you in the beginning. Yes. Because that's how the movie is
started.
It's showing me the history of Rocky and all that. So when I found out there was 3 others, I was like, yo, this is amazing. I get to watch this guy some more. But I did not know that. So that's all I knew. Right. So for me, that was a special thing to go back to.
Okay.
Ivan, where he is now.
Yes, and then his son trying to get his son to regain his
right. It was pretty cool.
But I was shocked with Rocky 4 when Apollo died because I was thinking that come on, make him blind or something or partially paralyzed. I'm like, don't kill the guy.
And I was like. And I loved that character. That's another reason why I got excited when I heard about 1, 2, and 3. Because I only knew, and the funny thing is, the first time I watched Rocky, the credits, I heard it in the room, dun, dun, going on. So by the time I came in, the titles was gone. So I just knew Rocky. But
okay, right, okay.
I didn't know whether it was part whatever.
Yeah,
so watching that whole thing, it was amazing to me. I was like, wow, this is such a crazy, and it felt real.
Yeah, it really did. It really did.
The Eye of the Tiger.
It
shocked me when he died. So I wanted to see more of him.
So did I. So
he's doing the Lord's work on The Mandalorian right now.
Oh really?
Oh yeah. Carl Weathers, dude, he is the man.
Oh my goodness.
Grief Karger is the man.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
So back to me now.
Yes.
Okay, and after Things You Do for Love, there was shortly after that, I got to do my first film.
Okay.
Which was directed by Jake Ironan, Nigerian.
Okay.
Yeah, he was also acting, and he made a few other movies like God Loves Prostitutes and this one. I've forgotten the title. Celebrity or Star or something, I can't remember.
What year was this?
This was in 2004.
Okay.
Yeah, exactly, 2004.
Wow.
Yeah. That was just about, I think, a year or two after Things You Do for Love had ended. Yeah. Okay. And I did a movie called Deadly Assignments, which featured,
I remember that one.
Yeah, which featured the late Susie Williams.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. She was phenomenal.
Exactly. God rest her soul as well. and that led to another series that Jake was doing called Games People Play, which had a very interesting premise. It was about a lady who had 4 daughters and they were all from different husbands. And each of them had their own issues. The first daughter was in an abusive marriage. The second one's husband, who was played by Jake, the director, was fooling around like nobody's business. The third one was a slut.
Makes sense.
Yeah. And the fourth
Let me put this charger on.
All right.
It's not working.
All right, sure, okay, good. And
the fourth one.
And the fourth one, the youngest, was played by Nadia Buhari.
Oh, okay.
Yes. I think that was probably one of her first things to showcase her. Yes. So you had these 4
She's
very
another legend.
Yeah. You had these 4 very interesting individuals, and their mother was played by veteran actress Abi Adachi.
Okay.
Yes,
Okay.
she played them. So, and I played the pastor of the church that's the second and third daughter attend. And I counseled the second daughter whose husband is fooling around. And then the third daughter, who's the slut, is having an affair with one of the elders and the choir master.
Of your church.
Exactly. So here I am, this pastor, and I'm looking at all of these kind of things, but it was interesting because when Jake brought the project to us, and Majid was also part of it too.
Oh wow.
Yeah, he did. He played the toy boy to Abi Adachi, who was her lover.
Right.
Yes, exactly. Yes.
He was always playing those kind of.
Exactly. So the funny thing was that when Jake brought it to us, I wanted to play the toy boy. And he wanted to play the pastor because we both wanted to do something
different. Yeah, out of the type.
Precisely. Yeah. He really, because when we came for the audition, I really read for his character. He also really read for mine. But Jake decided to. And he knew how badly we both wanted those characters, and he just.
He's like, no.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So that was also a very interesting shoot for me to be on, and a fun shoot for me to also be on, and getting along with everybody, and the crew too was also fantastic, and learning that. The only thing that I found quite discomforting was my scenes, because my scenes were shot in an office. And the lights were so cold, if you know what I mean. I'm telling you.
Sweating bullets.
Oh my God, it was just, so whenever I had to shoot my scenes, I was like, oh God, to endure that.
And you're wearing the whole.
Yeah, it was not fun, believe me, it was not fun. But that particular series, I also wish it had continued because it was interesting to see how she as the mother dealt with these 4 girls.
Right.
And then dealing with all their domestic issues and how they all dealt with it on their own, with help of the pastor, with help of each other. That show was really great. And then after that, then I did a number of films. I did My Sister's Honor with Jackie.
Okay.
Yes.
Reunion.
Yes. Yeah, you know. And then I followed that up with Who Owns the City, which was a police action drama, directed by Femi Onaibo.
Oh,
that movie too was huge. And then I followed that up with another movie Ifeanyi directed that was Shadow in the Dark. I did that one with Kafu Danku and what else was in that movie? Gosh, I can't.
Is Kafu Danku still active?
I think she likes to do more producing now. Yeah. But she still acts, but she does more producing. Yes. And
that's someone who sort of vanished.
Yes, well, I guess motherhood kind of like now has taken a lot of her time. But
she's a powerful talent.
She's terrific, and I know she's gonna come back.
Please,
we love you. Come back. Yes, and then afterwards, then I came up to do some other series. I got on to do Office Palava.
I remember that one.
Yes.
That actually was also quite buzzy.
Yes, I really had fun with that. Then I had a recurring role on Living with Trisha. Kudos to what used to be Kairos Productions, Richard, Adam, Amma, Albert, all the crew of Kairos. You guys Hollywood, great.
Fantastic.
Yes,
Fantastic.
great stuff. And they started another series called The Idiots and I, which I had another recurring role on.
Okay.
Yes. And I among the movies that I also did, I did one that was featuring. No, it was directed by Tony Hansen, Casper's Energy.
Yes.
Yeah, directed by Abu. Yeah, exactly. You're right.
I love that movie.
Yeah.
Actually.
Truly,
I watched it on.
do you know the funny thing about that?
Roku.
Really?
No, Iroko.
Iroko, I see.
Iroko.
Do you know the funny thing about that film? When we shot that movie, it was practically a labor of love.
Yeah, he told me.
And it was not a pleasurable shoot.
Right, you, Jeffrey Norte.
Exactly, Jeffrey Norte was in it, Anthony Wood, Omar, correct?
Yeah.
We shot it during the Doomsaw period.
Oh, wow.
And it was not fun.
So you could be just shooting it.
And even when you can't even shoot with the generator on because it's going to disturb the sound and then, boy. But when I was shooting this movie, I said to myself, goodness, if this thing comes out, I don't think I would want to attend the premiere because, to be frank with you, it looked like we didn't know what we were doing.
Yeah.
That's what it looked like.
Babu is a tenacious.
He is just. When I saw what he did with this film, I said to myself, if this guy was given a proper budget,
Abu is.
This would have been.
Yeah,
this would have been. I mean, brilliant.
Very massive. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And even what he did with hashtag,
I'm telling you, he's just.
That's amazing. I actually forgot. I remember now. Yeah, you were in Casper's Energy.
I was in Casper's Energy. Yes, I was in Casper's.
Were you one of the ghosts?
No.
You were not. They were like the brother and sister ghosts.
Yeah. They were there exactly.
Yes, and they were the person who was the guy. What's his name? The producer who was also.
Exactly, yeah. He was also part of it. But I was the employee of the woman who was Casper's stepmom.
Right.
Who was having an affair with Jeffrey Norte. Yeah.
Wow.
That's what I said,
Because I watched that movie quite.
Yes, played by Paulina Audrey. Yes. Hi, Auntie Paulina, how you doing? Yeah. So when that movie came out and I saw the trailer, I was like, whoa. This is brilliant.
Yeah.
You know, and so I thought to myself that if he had been given a good budget, this would have even been wonderful.
Oh yeah, he is someone I'm very keen to see his new what he gets to do with a bigger canvas.
Exactly. I can't wait either.
And just like me, he's self-taught.
Okay.
You know, and that's the exciting thing about us, like, because we do it from here.
You guys are the crazy people. You guys are. I mean, nobody can sit with you because you are in your own world. You're thinking your own thing, and you're like, look. This is not by the book, okay? This is in the head, and it has to come out. So don't ask me anything. Don't ask me to explain anything. This is how it is in here. This is how I'm going to do it. I'm not going by the book. I'm not going by the formula. This is my creation. Let me do it.
He's basically describing his experience at slumber parties.
Yes,
I'm no longer that headstrong on set. Like, I took a completely different. I'm serious. No, it's true. I took a completely different leaf. I'm down a lot, but that also has to do with my producer.
Okay,
you get it, because Bex is my current producing partner.
Okay.
And hopefully the one, because it comes sort of where we can sort of have a what do you call it? Catherine Bigelow, James Cameron thing going.
Okay, great.
Like, back when she produced it before they married.
Okay.
But we're dudes, so we don't swing that way. So hey, it's gonna be a friend.
Okay.
So he understands how to speak in my language.
Okay.
So
great.
I never heat up.
All right. Okay.
Because and he's also a facilitator, so he made sure like everything I needed. So I never went off like too much.
Okay,
like,
all right.
It was the only every time I did have any sort of outburst, it wasn't on set.
Okay, all right.
It was like probably like a creative meeting where something was, or maybe like in a bus where something would annoy me.
external to the process. You know, but no. Like all that was from frustration to me. Like that was slumber party time. That was like a very frustrating time for me. You know, so to juggle all that stress and the movies and everybody asking me questions, and I was editing the thing on my own. You know, I lost my daughter during that time. You know, so I had to. I basically had to run away from Ghana for a little bit. You know, so I was in LA, just sort of. Yeah. You know, and everybody would be asking me every 2 minutes, like, "Yo, what's up? It's not right. Yo, what's up? It's not right." Yeah. And I'm just like, I'm gonna need y'all to just leave me alone.
Let me tell all of you something here, okay, to show you that he is not lying, okay? I what's up this dude, and I'm talking to him about releasing Slumber Party because hashtag was also coming out around the same time. So like, okay, we have 2 horror movies coming out, so how we gonna do this? And this dude here almost wants to turn my head off during the WhatsApp conversation. And I'm like, hey, dude, ease up, okay?
And I've apologized, but I actually want to put that was uncalled for.
Right.
I'm sorry again.
But now I realize that, you know, he, like he said, he was going through a lot of it. I cannot even begin to imagine.
Oh yeah, like even lately also, I kind of went through a big one the last month. Like I just stabilized again, which is why I've delved into work.
Yeah.
Because you know, because it comes and goes. By the way, guys, I have bipolar disorder. So that's something.
It doesn't mean he's crazy, please. Exactly. It doesn't mean he's crazy.
But that's something I'll get into in another podcast one day.
Exactly.
Today it's about my icon.
Yeah. He is not nuts. He hasn't gone out to lunch. He is perfectly fine. Let's just leave that on the table.
Exactly. So it goes in cups.
Exactly.
It goes in cups. And I alienate people sometimes. So I'm grateful a lot that first of all, like I looked up to you, and then after that whole situation, you were like, yo, this guy, like, you know, you didn't sort of just after, even more recently, I've sort of lost some people that I respect because of me having an episode and doing wild, like I'm in what they call mania. You know, whenever you go into mania, you can be in it for like a week, 2 weeks. You know, so I go into mania and start doing weird stuff and reporting myself to people and stuff like that. And they're like, yo, dude, don't even talk to me anymore, yo. You're always saying wild stuff to me, yo. And I'm thinking, it's not me, man, but hey.
Because all of what was happening to you at the time and dealing with all of that and the stress and the movie and everything coming together, it's enough to drive anybody crazy.
Right. There's so much. And now even with ATF and everything, but now having this going on, getting to talk to very interesting people.
Yes.
You know, especially, and I'm so happy that you're the first, you know, guest that I'm having because as you know, it's a big deal to me. Maybe it's not to you, but it is. It's an honor. I'm honored. Yeah, I am extremely honored to be caught on camera with you. And you know, from a lot of the people who I know who have watched you and have benefited from your work. You know, we thank you for what you've been doing.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much for what you put out in the universe that has inspired us. We've gone on our journeys. Because of the steps that you guys took. You know, you guys made us know that it was possible.
Exactly, yeah.
You made us feel, because I was in Bolga when that was going on. I grew up there. I was watching this from Bolga, you know, so like, and I'm sitting all the way there and I'm like, yo, so it can be done. Accra is just a bus away.
And that is another thing because, like, we were discussing this the other day and I said, we were there, being on TV, doing our thing, and we had no idea
just how important.
Exactly. And the magnitude. And I was acting. I had no idea that there was this little skinny little guy sitting somewhere in Volga, watching and saying that,
like, yo,
this is doable.
Yeah.
I had no idea. So that just goes to show the power
of the art that you guys do. All of you, I think that, you know, it's incredible. It's amazing. And to be blessed to have you guys still with us, it's great for me because it gives me hope that I will get to do that thing with you guys one day. Because you guys are such phenomenal talent. I think any filmmaker should at least want to work with all of you at least once.
Yeah,
you know?
so thank you so
It's
much.
amazing.
Yes.
It's amazing. And you know,
it will happen. It will happen.
absolutely, I believe it. I believe so. And you know,
Start writing.
I of course. I have it done already. Actually, I have the synopsis.
Oh.
You know, which we can talk about as soon as we get off this podcast. I'm gonna give you some tidbits into my, you know, things to do.
No spoilers now. No spoilers. No
You
spoilers.
know, my things to do for life revival in the series.
Right.
But if we don't get to do that, I have a backup plan of, you know, doing a series with you guys.
Oh, awesome.
In a different capacity. You get it? Because that cast and the chemistry is there.
No doubts about it. No doubts about it.
Yeah, like it's always a great thing. And I'm grateful, let me say, for you gracing us coming on to Sayibu'S bench. You know, this is the first one, and I hope that you guys like it. So we can get him back, because obviously we just scratched the surface.
Anytime,
you know,
anytime.
You know, Vince is such a big painting. You have to appreciate him.
Don't do this to me now. Don't do this to me now.
Appreciate him in bits. Like you look at it a bit and then you go. Yeah. So we've had like a whole, basically a whole hour of your time.
Yes.
You know, reminiscing about things we do for love, which is which was something that, you know, was big for all of us. And I think most people who are even going to be watching this, this is the reason they're going to be watching it, because they've probably been asking. They've had a lot of questions about the show since it went off air. So now that we've got the show out of the way, next time when he comes, we're going to be talking about life. Where did he grow up? You know, what school did he go to? How was high school? All that type of stuff. Stay tuned for his next episode when he comes on to, you know, Sayibu'S bench. And of course, please remember to subscribe, leave your comments below, ask some questions that we will definitely forward to him, and he might answer on his IG. Who knows? He might shout you out. You know what I'm saying? And you can find him on IG at
Vincenzo MacJ. That's VICENZO _Mac _J.
And I'm gonna have that